There's major questions in the culinary world around your household that come up, like how do you properly make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Well, we all know how you properly make the peanut butter and jelly. Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, anything he says
The Belichick.
goes.
All right?
That's how you make the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Does pineapple belong on a pizza? I say yes.
I enjoy it.
I love it.
I enjoy it, especially if you could get it grilled. Like if you could get it it gets grill marks on it, then big bonus points. If you could grill the pineapple first, then put it on the pizza, that makes for the best pineapple pizza.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? I said no, you said yes, and then you convinced me that it is a sandwich.
It is a sandwich.
And finally, macaroni and cheese. Spoon or fork?
No, I know where I sit on this. I said fork. Definitely a fork.
41 out of 50 states say they use a spoon. No, when you eat macaroni and cheese. Who uses a spoon?
You're kidding me.
Parents say it's just not as messy.
Well,
for the kids when they use a spoon.
I will say this. I do give the kids the spoon for the macaroni and cheese. Not my daughter. She's old enough now to use a fork. But my son, he actually requests. That's one of the few words he knows. But if he gets the fork, it's too hard for him with the fork. But he's granted, he's only 20 months old.
Right.
So you're saying Americans would rather eat like a 20-month-old instead of have a little class when eating macaroni and cheese and eating it with a fork?
41 out of 50 states say that giving their kids a spoon to eat macaroni and cheese is easier and it makes more sense. You're the parent. You would agree. 71% of adults say they use a fork.
To a certain age.
You got to use a fork. Matter of fact, I don't even like using a spoon unless there's broth.
Think about it. Last time you ordered it in a restaurant, I guess they don't bring you the utensil. The utensil's there for your picnic.
I rarely order mac and cheese in a restaurant because it's never good. It's always dry.
Oh, you don't go to this place over here. This
What
is
place?
a macaroni and cheese place.
The Taste?
Taste. With the slider. They give you a slider and then a thing of macaroni and cheese.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's not kids' food.
You know, it's funny because
that's the best macaroni and cheese.
we're part of the
I've ever
Macaroni and Cheese Festival every year, and usually who wins this competition are caterers. It's not restaurants. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of great restaurants there, but when I go to restaurants and I order mac and cheese because it sounds good, it always comes out of the oven, baked, and it's dry, and I'm really disappointed. My mac and cheese needs to be saucy. I need it to be almost like you want a spoon, but you go fork. And then you get a piece of bread, and you damp up, get all the cheese off. What are you laughing for?
I was going to say, it sounds a lot less gluttonous when you go fork, but then you had to follow up with the bread. Because the only reason why you would do the spoon is to scoop all the cheese out of the bowl.
Unless you have bread.
You don't want to leave anything behind.
But why would you use a spoon when you can have bread? Sourdough bread or French bread, even a baguette. Just soak it up.
Maybe this macaroni and cheese thing speaks to a louder issue. And that is the what is so affectionately called as the pussification of America. 2 years ago, there was a study done, and it was somebody just asked a poll question on Twitter. Said, do you eat macaroni and cheese with a fork or a spoon? At that period of time, 79%, this is 2 years ago, 79% of people said they eat it with a fork, as opposed to 21% of people who said that they would eat it with a spoon. Now, that number has shifted. Now, you said 41 out of 50 states, the parents in those states preferred their kids to eat macaroni and cheese with a spoon.
Right.
Making things easier on their kids.
Why is that? You're a parent, so your kid doesn't stab themselves with a fork? Are we just anti-forks until they're a certain age?
I don't know. I encourage even my son to eat the macaroni and cheese with a fork. I give him the fork. That's all I give him. There was a time I would give him the spoon, but now we have transitioned to the fork. He's not even 2 years of age yet. Okay. And that's because I want him to learn how to eat it the proper way. But now, just 2 years, that has changed according to the study that you're citing to where only 72% of Americans eat macaroni and cheese with a fork, as opposed to 28 that eat it with a spoon. So 21 used to eat it with a spoon 2 years ago, just 2 years ago. Now it's 28 eat it with a spoon. So it is trending in the spoon's direction when it comes to macaroni and cheese.
You know what the answer is? I was talking to Kyle about this yesterday. Spork. The spoon fork. Why don't we see more production of the spork? It's a great idea.
Me, you can't even drink out of a plastic straw anywhere you go anymore.
No.
You think they're going to be making plastic utensils?
No, I don't want plastic. I want this to be metal.
A metal spork.
Or a hard plastic, something that you would put in the dishwasher and you would use over and over again. Because think about it. All right, what about macaroni and cheese would be perfect. You could fork it, and you get the sauce in the spoon part of the spork. Good to go. How about ramen? You ever eat ramen? Mm-hmm. Top ramen? Mm-hmm. You need a spoon and a fork. You need the juice.
Yeah, but the
broth,
the spork is not going to be good for the ramen because you need to get the ramen. You have to get deep
it's a
in
big
there
spork
and spin it around. Same thing.
It's enough. How much ramen do you need in your mouth? SpaghettiOs, another great example.
SpaghettiOs, okay, but
SpaghettiOs
spaghetti not going to work with the spork.
Sure, because it's got a fork and you can twist.
How about we learn how to?
You don't need to be shoveling all that pasta in your mouth at one time. Slow down your eating a little bit. Everybody says, if you read any health study, they always say, just slow down your eating. People eat way too fast. You're a slow eater. Think about it.
Slow eater.
Because if you did have the spork, you wouldn't have enough tongs to get all that big clump of pasta on there. You'd slow down a little bit. Maybe you'd enjoy it more. Maybe you'd fill up faster. Maybe you wouldn't eat as much.
Maybe you get so frustrated that you just say, screw it, I'm not eating anymore because this spoon fork concoction is only good for mashed potatoes.
I want to be the next Billy Mays.
At Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I want to reinvent the spork. It's a little bit longer prongs, and it's a little bit bigger.
Maybe if you go that route. If you can redesign it.
And as seen on TV.
The one that I'm familiar with is not any good.
I'm not inventing something new. I'm better at taking something that's already there and making it better. That's what I would be doing with this spork. Probably have to change the name. The ultimate spork.
Oh, Mary. Mary says she eats mac and cheese with the spoon. She's one of the 28%. That way she can get more into her mouth when she does it with the spoon. It's like a shovel. Yeah. It's like a shovel.
Somebody wrote in and they said, Eric said, put it on a burger, then you don't need utensils.
There you go.
Shovel it in your mouth.
I'm a big fan of making it in a quesadilla, too. It's really good.
Well, what if we just started designing bowls that had like a funnel technique to it? So it's not just perfectly, it just has kind of a pour out, and you just pick it up and you just pour it in your mouth. Really cut down on plastic, all that recycling you got to do, dishwashing.
Yes.
Better for the environment because you're saving water, less utensils.
Macaroni and Cheese Festival next year. It's going to be little tortillas that have scoops of macaroni and cheese in it. There's a macaroni and cheese burrito. Here you go.
805-543-3693. Brian's hanging on. Go ahead, man.
Has anybody, since you mentioned mac and cheese, has anybody at the mac and cheese festival done mac and cheese deep fried wonton thingy, like egg rolls? I saw it on the Food Network, and I was like, oh, my God.
I've seen people do what they call mac and cheese sticks, like taking the idea of fried cheese, but putting macaroni and cheese in it. I've seen people do macaroni and cheese deep fried balls.
So it looks like a corn dog, then?
It looks like a big fat piece of fried cheese.
Okay.
So it's not quite as big. But then I've seen also people take big mac and cheese balls and deep fry them. The problem is, both occasions, super dry in the middle. Because when they throw it in the deep fryer,
it sucks all the cheese out of it.
Yeah, it takes all the liquid out. Dries it out.
I gotcha.
So I think like a popper, or instead of just using like mozzarella, they need to use like what they do with a popper and try to mix, I think, Philadelphia cream cheese in there.
What if
like kind of moisture?
What now? Yeah. Now the wonton that you speak of, that has to be fried, right?
Yeah, it's deep fried. It's like kind of like a wonton egg roll. I saw it on the Food Network. Like, oh my God, that's delicious.
Mm-hmm. Somebody should try it.
I'm gonna.
You're gonna
maybe
try
not at the macaroni, and I'm gonna try to make it at home. If I can mass produce it, maybe you'll see me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it might take a few takes to get it right. Do you have a deep fryer?
Oh, come on, America, baby.
Par fry, if you could par fry the wontons, meaning if you can get them almost all the way there, enough to where you can still make them pliable, to put the mac and cheese in it, and then finish it off, then you would possibly not run the risk of losing all the cheese from the macaroni and cheese.
Or what about a dipping sauce, a cheese dipping sauce that you dip into it as well?
There you go.
Some nacho queso?
Nacho queso, yeah, there you go. There's got to be a play on that somewhere. Is your fryer a oil fryer, or is it one of these new air fryers?
No, come on, air fry. Get out of here, Jeremy.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I haven't used it yet, but I found one on sale, and I'm like, you know what? I've heard a lot of good things about this. I'm going to try it.
Coming to a Craigslist post near you soon.
Yeah, exactly. I I hear good things about them, but I hear they're hit and miss as well.
Okay. Well, I haven't tried mine yet, so.
Maybe we'll have to do some recipes and we'll swap ditties.
But my parents live by it. But my parents also live out of the frozen section, so they just take their chicken strips and they throw it in there like, it's like the restaurant.
There's nothing wrong with living out of the frozen section.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
Have a good day, Brian.
You too, guys. Thank you.
KZOZ.
Did we just get down to business front?
The Central Coast's home for classic rock. 93.3 KZOZ.